The man says I'm live. So here's the deal. If nothing happens when I point up here, got to point in the right place. If nothing happens here, then the show's not ready, in which case just scrub to till that gets to 0, and that's when the show will start. If, however, there is something up there, then don't watch this one. Click on that. Watch that one. That takes you to the final version of the show. If you're watching live, of course, we'll be right back right when that gets to about 2-ish minutes or so. See you soon. Sorry, I didn't see the clock get down to 0 or 2 or whatever it was at. Brian forgot to tell me. Usually he says, you're 2 minutes. And I'm like, oh, it's time to get on there. Hey, everybody, greetings. What's going on? Serge, greetings. Woohoo, at least you're joining before the show started. Well, that's how you're supposed to do it. Welcome to the show. Andrew Byrne, good morning to you. Good morning to you. Ryan, are you all good in there? Because I haven't heard anything from you. Oh, there he is. He's good. Okay, just making sure. Got to make sure that I still got my man over there taking care of things and making sure that all things are going well, or else we don't have a show. It's like, I got to run back and forth. It's just have you ever noticed when he's not here, it's like a total disaster of a show. So, how you guys doing? You good? You good? We're almost to 0. We're almost there. And we can start the show. I think I'm ready, actually. When it's one of those days where you're like, wow, look at that. I'm actually ready for the show today. Actually ready. Let's put that on a do not disturb. You don't need to see that thing popping up. And, oh, and then I hit stop on there. Well, you should let that go to actual 0 for those scrubbing later on to figure out where the show starts. They probably are looking for that thing to actually go to 0 because that's what I said to do. It's kind of funny how that works. Okay, look at that. We're at 0. I think that means that we can actually start the show. Should we start the show? Let's start the show. Ryan, you want to hit the big red button in there? I'll hit the big red button out here. It's, do you need me to do it? He's got, okay, there we go. He's good. Good morning, Jake. Hey, Jake, I forgot to turn the light on anyway. I've got that thing you sent. I've got to do the projection of the thing. Still haven't. It's been a year, but we'll get there. I will. Okay. Yeah, let's have a show. On today's show, we're going to take a look at this funky little pile of widgets to potentially enhance your iPhone cinematography. Good morning, and welcome to PhotoJoseph's Photo Moment. First live 3 times a week show here at youtube.com/PhotoJoseph. Every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 9:30 a.m. Pacific time. You know the routine by now. How you guys doing? Today we're talking about a fun little product. We're going to see if this is something that that you all want to get your hands on. This is, if you're doing iPhone cinematography, well, from anything from selfie videos to live streaming from your phone to, I don't know, full-on cinematic, ooh, I'm going to get really good and make movies with my iPhone, you generally want to add some kind of accessories to it, whether you're talking about a microphone, good first step, right? Because the microphone built into these phones is really not very good. To a handle like this here. Now, this is not a gimbal, it's not a stabilized handle, but being able to hold the camera with some kind of device other than just holding it like this can definitely be a benefit. If you want to do things like mount a light onto it, have a little arm to mount a light thing onto it, that can be kind of cool. And then the ability to have an actual remote control to start and stop shooting could be kind of handy too. And that's all of what this stuff is. So this is a product from a company called Viewflex. I mean, it's kind of a combination of things. It's a Viewflex, at least that's what it says on here. Maybe that's the product name. It says Kamika. It's a Kamika. Oh, that's interesting. I'm getting some microphone feedback here. Interesting. We'll avoid that. It's a Kamika microphone. Maybe Kamika makes the whole thing. The light's from Coma Ray. The handle's called the VF. We link to it down below. That's what really ultimately matters. And what this whole thing is it's obviously it's the handle, it's the bracket, it's the light, it's the microphone. But all that really matters is if it's any good. At the end of the day, that's what matters. So the light, we'll start with the light. The light's pretty straightforward. It's a light, right? And it does have a little brightening, dimming thingy on it. Let's go for it. That is an interesting little static pull that I'm getting in there, isn't it? Let's see here. Let's go for a close-up shot here, which I now need to reposition so that you can actually see. There we go. That static is very, and I wonder if I let go of this, if the static goes away. I can't really let go of it. It'll fall over. Huh, fascinating. Anyway, so you can see the control. You can see the control in the back here you have over the lighting, so I can make it a little bit brighter, a little bit darker. So you've got that on there if you need to do as such. That will also, so there we go, that's a little bit brighter on there. That will also give you a, well, that static is, that is interesting. Where is that coming from? I wonder if it's somehow, if I let go of it, it's not there. Some kind of feedback. Some kind of feedback from the thing. I don't know what this is. Well, anyway, it's we'll just have to ignore the static. The static is some kind of interference from this, which in itself is very curious, isn't it? That's not something I would have expected, but it's happening. It is definitely happening. Anyway, so you've got the bracket, you've got the light on there, you have this little tiny microphone, which we're going to find out quite soon is actually pretty good. For a tiny little mic that's on here, plugged in, it's actually quite a good little mic. Now, this kit comes with a case to carry it all together. It comes with the cable that you need to plug into your smartphone, but not the adapter, of course, to connect to your iPhone. And, you know, unfortunately, these days, we don't have headphone jacks in pretty much anything that we buy. I think all the newest phones are all like, sayonara headphone jack, so you're going to need an adapter. They don't ship with the adapter you'd need for every single possible device out there, so this will be compatible with basically anything you can plug a TRS port into or adapt to, which would mean your Lightning port for your iPhone, and older iPhones with Lightning only came with the adapter. The newer ones apparently do not. Thanks, Apple. And the new Android phones apparently are USB-C only as well, so you're going to need an adapter for that. So one way or another, you're going to need an adapter. We'll link to everything down below that you might possibly need. We're going to see how good it sounds. That's going to be the final real test. Obviously, that's what matters most. But there is one more thing I kind of want to go through with you on this, and that's the assembly of this thing. So let's make sure we're nicely focused here. This is, I wish it was a little bit better going together. Let's put it together a little bit better. Let me show you how it all comes apart to begin with, and then we're going to put it back together, and I'm going to show you my one kind of complaint. It's not a big, huge deal, but it's one of those, you know, it's a little bit annoying. So it all comes apart. And incidentally, you could put the light on top of this if you wanted to, and put the mic over here. You know, that's up to you. You could also take this arm off if you don't want that on there. So let's just disassemble the whole thing. Take off the microphone, loosen this. This handle, by the way, gets quite big, so if you've got a really big phone or a smaller phone, this will tighten and loosen to accommodate that. As we take all the pieces apart in here, you'll see that, let's get rid of this bracket on here. You'll see that, it's got a very long thread on there. So it's not going to just suddenly fall off. It does take a little while to put together. This comes off, so you don't have to have this part on here. You can just attach this. So if you just want the iPhone with the handle on here, the cold shoe on here, rather, to attach a light, a microphone, whatever to, you can do that. This is an optional piece you can add onto it. The way that this is designed too, which is, that was interesting. It looks like I lost my connection. Let's try that again. Where'd my close-up camera go? Okay, hold on one second. Like, totally lost my close-up camera. This is a show wrought with technical challenges, isn't it? I can see I'm going to have some editing to do. There it goes. There it goes. Editing to do in today's show. Let's zoom that out a little bit. All right, close enough. So this here, the kind of cool thing about the way this is designed is you can take this off, and if you wanted to, there we go, let's get that in there all the way down. So again, everything's got a very long thread. You could position this in the middle here so then it could be a sliding rail. So you can position it kind of however you want in there, which is nice. You do have some flexibility on that. But here's the problem. So let me put this back into here. Now I'm going to have to thread this thing back in, get this guy in. This is going to take a little while. But apparently it takes a little while if you get it in the right thread to start with. That's a good start. This is the fun of live stuff. You're like, if it's going to go wrong, if it could go wrong, it's going to happen live. Okay, so that's in place. This is now ready to go. I put this onto here. I attach this to here, and I get that on there. Now I'm going to have to thread this down for a nice, long, skinny thread. Hey, while I'm doing this, just remember, folks, if you are watching live, the Q&A will happen at the end. If you're not watching live and you would like to watch the Q&A, at the end of this video, there will be the link to the live Q&A. So if you're into the Q&A part of it, I know that show's not listed anymore. It's a whole analytics reason we're doing that. But you get to the end of this show, there's been a link to the Q&A, so that's where it is. Okay, so I've got this now in place, right, except that it's not tight. Well, it's, just tighten it down, right? So you tighten that as much as you can, but it still is going to move. And so really the only good tightening thing you can do is you're going to grab this handle and give it a good twist. Okay, that's great. Now it's tight. But now, it is severely not straightened out. Let me go a little bit wider on this, and you can really kind of see here. That is obviously not aligned. So this is the challenge, and this is my only real complaint. This part here is just one screw in, so you got to like really tighten that in. And of course, as soon as that gets knocked the other way, the whole thing is loose. This part here, you can only tighten so much with the thumb screw, and that's just, you're not really going to get that tight. So you really have to grab this and give it a good pull, which is fine. But then if you want things to actually be lined up, you got to be really kind of strategic about where you position it before, there we go, before you give it the good yank. So like I found if I give it maybe kind of a 45-ish degree angle, we'll get that one pretty straight onto there, tighten that down, take this and like, nope, see that's not enough, so I'm going to tighten it down some more, and then get that into place. And so there we go. And it's still off center. See, it's a challenge. It's an annoying challenge because you really want to just put it together and be done, but you do have to be quite meticulous about getting it lined up right, assuming you care. The only real reason it matters, other than having the light and the camera being at the same angle, is the handle with the button on the back. If you're not going to use the button on the back, it really doesn't matter. And obviously you can, easily just move your thumb around to the side to hit it. It's not like it's the end of the world, but it's nice for it all to be lined up and centered. Incidentally, this little button right here, cute little thing, is a Bluetooth connected device. Just Bluetooth pairs to your phone. And all this is doing when you push the button is it's pushing the up volume on your phone, which starts and stops recording. So that's kind of cool, right? Neat. And it's removable, so you can just take this away and go somewhere else. So if you wanted to set this on a tripod somewhere, back up, hit start to start recording, you could do that. So that's kind of cool. Now, when I did get this, it came with a DOA one. This one was dead, but the company did replace it. It shipped from China. It took a few weeks to get here, but they did send out a replacement part for it. So when you get yours, if you decide to buy one of these things, when you get yours, if the remote doesn't work, and basically I, trying to turn it on, it just never came on. I swapped the battery. It wasn't the battery. If yours never works, contact the company, tell them that PhotoJoseph said, hey, mine didn't work either, please send me a new one. And I think they'll take care of you, because they took care of me. That's the idea. So that's kind of cool. All right, so let's just get it all together. I'm going to put that in there, so you see it pops in, this little button on there. Let's get the actual phone in place in here, and plug it all back in, and then, oops, I'm going to do it that way. Let's not do it backwards, that would be silly. And then we'll do a quick little recording, and I'll play it back for you. So you're going to see a live recording, and you'll get to hear the difference between this broadcast system, static notwithstanding, the static should clearly not be there, and what the microphone on here actually sounds like. Hey, incidentally, while I'm doing this, let me just remind you too about the value for value proposition that we have on the show. What this means is that if you feel that you have gained value from today's show, then we would most certainly appreciate it if you could put a little bit of value back. And the best way to do that is to head over to photojoseph.com/support. There's all the different methods, all the different ways you can help out, all the different things you can do on there, including shopping at the affiliate store. Like if you decide to buy this thing, please use my link. But the biggest thing, the coolest thing is membership. If you're a member of photojoseph.com, you get access to all kinds of good stuff, including the new private, very small Facebook group where we can interact on a more intimate level and have any kind of conversation you want, where I will also go live on random times and moments. I just realized I kind of put this together backwards. I meant to flip this the other way, but it probably really doesn't matter. No, it totally matters. No, it doesn't matter. No, this is good. We're good. I was wondering if that was too close to the light. Probably is. I really meant to flip it the other way, but who cares? Okay, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to hit the record button. So let's go for that close-up on here. You can see as I hit the button on here, it is going to start recording on there. So did you see that? It started recording. And now we're just going to, that's it. It's recording. I probably should put the light on. Want some light on there too? Let's get some light on there, and let's see how this thing looks. So there we are. We are in full-on selfie mode. Now here's one thing about the mic that's kind of cool, is it is quite directional. So watch this. I'm talking, it can hear me, you can hear me. I do this, and you're going to hear when you hear the recording on the other side that it is actually quite a big audio difference in there. So that is notable. It is very much a directional mic, which is good because that tells us, stop recording there, that tells us that we are going to not pick up a whole lot of background extraneous noise and all that good stuff. The price on this, we should probably, I always forget to bring up that page. Hey Ryan, do me a favor, look it up real quick. I want to make sure I get the right price on here. And for those watching the live show, I'm not going to show you the web page. I'll drop it in later for the edited folks. Oh look, I managed to hit the button 5 times. The lock button, locking me out of Face ID. Excellent. Love that. Enter my 18-character long password in there. Ha! Maybe it's 16, maybe it's 23. You'll never know. Okay, let's plug this thing in. Now, if you see anything out of sync on here when I'm playing it back, that's the live people watching. I will fix that in post. There might be a delay between the processing from here through the thing, but it is definitely in sync. I can assure you of that. Okay, let's have a listen and see what this thing actually sounds like. On there, so did you see that? It started recording. And now we're just gonna, that's it. It's recording. I probably should put the light on. Want some light on there too? Let's get some light on there, and let's see how this thing looks. So there we are. We are in full-on selfie mode. Now here's one thing about the mic that's kind of cool, is it is quite directional. So watch this. I'm talking, it can hear me, you can hear me. I do this, and you're gonna hear when you hear the recording on the other side that it is actually quite a big audio difference in there. So that is notable. It is very much a directional mic, which is good because that. And apparently, that's where I pushed the button to stop accidentally. So there you go. So it's pretty decent, right? I mean, that sound was definitely not bad. For this tiny little mic on there, it's not too shabby. Now, the price of the whole thing, it is $125 for the whole rig, so it's definitely not the cheapest thing you're going to find online, but you could spend a lot more, you could spend a lot less, and I think for the price of it, I think you're getting something of good quality, of comparable quality. You know, you could spend just $100 on a microphone alone easily, and spend a lot more than that on a microphone alone. So for $125 for the handle, the light, and the microphone in there, I think it's not too shabby. So anyway, so there you go. That is my uneducated, uninformed opinion of. No, I think it's kind of cool. I think it's a nice little product. If you're doing the kind of thing where you're shooting with your phone, you want to have a little stabilization, you want to have a mic and a place to put it, you want to have a light on there, or not take the arm and the light off, then you could certainly do worse. All right, guys, that's it. That is today's. Wow, that was a show and a half. Let's jump into the Q&A and see if there's anything you guys want to make fun of me for, because something tells me that it's going to be right for that today. We'll see you over in the Q&A, folks. Be right back. Good morning and welcome back to PhotoJoseph's Photo Moment, the Q&A portion of the show where I try to A your Qs. And I'm looking at the chat room in here, and there's definitely been some adventure in the chat room today. Sean Mark Nipper pointing out that, thank God, it forces you to shoot horizontal. That's funny you say that. I wonder if you could make this thing tall enough to stuff the camera in there, vertical orientation. Then you're going to be sorry, aren't you? I have not unthreaded this all the way, so we're just going to do that and see what happens. Let's see here. Let's get the chat up here. What's going on? Serge says, your overhead camera gave a black screen. Well, that's not good. Did it really? Huh. Well, that's definitely not good. I know I fixed it. The close-up. This definitely does not fit right there. That definitely doesn't fit. No. So you're right, Sean. It forces you to shoot landscape. That's good. Estro Digital, are you reviewing this mobile phone equipment because, according to someone, Micro Four Thirds is dead? Micro Four Thirds is not dead? Absolutely not. That is all I will say on the topic. Aaron Bedicke says, is the mount big enough to fit an iPad? No. No, that is as big as it goes. So I think, was that the max? I guess, make sure that really is the max. But no, it's definitely not. I mean, you can see the maximum it could possibly be is double that height. So no, this would not fit an iPad. You would have to get a you'd have to get a totally different bracket to be able to put an iPad on there. So no, no iPad. Now look at their webpage. Maybe they've got an iPad version of this, but this is the one that I got. So I don't think so. Oh, Sarah says dead cats were traditionally stuffed with microphones. That's funny. Speaking of dead cats, it does come with a very soft, fuzzy. I know that sounds horribly annoying, isn't it? Okay. Shh. There, that was quick. That is one fuzzy and shedding dead cat. But there you go. It comes with a nice big fuzzy kitten. Let's see here. What else is going on here? Sean, missing the moment lenses for this configuration. You could. You know, you definitely could. If you attach the case with the moment lens on there, attach that on there, that would be pretty awesome. I would be totally digging that. If anybody's got a relationship with Moment, I would love to have one with them. I've never been able to establish anything. They make some very, very interesting products. SR Digital, have I found a guest? Oops, where'd it go? Have I found a guest to go with me on my India reconnaissance trip? I have not. Interesting the way you put that. Rec trip, R-E-C-C-E. That is the way that the Indian team that I'm working with always writes the reconnaissance trip. I've never seen it that way. That's interesting. I've never seen that word written that way before. Anyway, no, I have not. And I had someone, but then they had to drop out, and that's fine. Unless somebody really, really wants to go last minute. But that's fine because it'll give me a little bit more flexibility and freedom in what I'm doing. It'll still be fun, though. I mean, if you want to come, you know, if you're willing to pay for it, come along. Let's have a good time. All righty. All right, media, just got here. I'm sorry you missed out. Aaron says, any way to avoid some of the handling noise that was on the mic? I heard quite a bit of it in the recording. Interesting. I will have to listen more closely to hear what you heard. Maybe... Well, you might have heard some of this. I obviously just kind of threw it together. I wasn't particularly careful about that. So I would say if you're hearing the cable bounce around, you could easily just tape that down if that was necessary. There's no movement. It has a nice, let's go for a close-up here again. There's a pretty good little cushion in here. Let's focus on there. There we go. It's a pretty good little cushion in here, right? So that's nice. It's separated. There's no hard mechanical parts to bounce. So I think you should get minimal movement from that. So the sounds that you heard, and again, I will have to go back and listen to it again, but the sounds you heard might have just been that. Also, for those watching live, the way that I was hearing it was there was some stutter in the audio, which I knew was happening, and I think it has to do with my wireless system. If you were watching it live and you heard any stutter in the audio, once the upload is up, go check it out again and listen to it again. That'll be because I will just take this video and replace the file that was up there, not use the one that was streamed, because there was definitely something weird happening either in the conversion process for streaming or back to my wireless ears. But when I tested it, it's fine. So anyway, if it sounded weird, just go back and listen to the recorded one once that is up. I think that'll be worth doing. Jake is saying, do you have to use a special app or can you use any filming software? So you can use any filming software, right? Once you plug this in, all right, let me back up. The app, whatever app you use, has no idea about any of this other than the fact there's a microphone plugged in. So any app that will use an external microphone, like VideoMic Pro certainly does, that works just fine. What does not work with VideoMic Pro, and I don't know about other apps, and I'm actually going to have to ask the VideoMic guys about this, was the remote. That is working inside of the native camera app. It did not work to start recording in VideoMic Pro. I don't know if that's something that can only happen in the camera app. I don't really use too many, I don't use any third-party camera apps other than VideoMic Pro, so I don't know if it would work on others, but I will ask the VideoMic Pro guys about it because this little button, to me, is a really, really nice feature, and it was kind of a bummer that didn't work in VideoMic Pro. It doesn't mean you can't reach up and hit the button anyway. Obviously, you just hit record on the screen, but it's a nice feature to have. It definitely is. Yeah, Kelkshes, I agree. He's wrong. So that's... All right, let me just address the elephant in the room here, what he's talking about. There was a video about the death of Micro Four Thirds by a particularly well-known YouTuber. It's his speculation. Everybody's entitled to their own opinion. He's just wrong. We'll just leave it at that. Okay, let's see here. Mad Fan, what movie is that from? With a lot of therapy, time, and medication, I think you'll get over it. That's a good line. That's a movie line, isn't it? Okay, I think that is it. There's no other questions on the show, which is nothing I missed in the beginning. There did not appear to be so. So, yeah, thanks, guys. So Friday's show, I am going to talk about this thing. I know I said I might do that today's show, but I'm going to do that Friday show. The port keys, 5-inch monitor with the long arm adapter, which is still packed up. I haven't unpacked it, but I'm showing it whether it works or not. And next week, there's going to be a lot of product stuff over the next, like leading up to the India trip, because I've got a lot to talk about, stuff that I'm taking on the trip and so on. And then I will be doing a full next Friday, so a week and a few days from now, a full-on everything I'm taking to India trip. And I'm doing that a couple days before I'm doing that a couple days before I leave, so that if anybody has any suggestions, they have time to get them in before I actually get on a plane. But yeah, that's going to be fun. And then while I'm in India, I am going to, well, I'm going to attempt to vlog. We'll see how that works out with editing and upload internet times and all that. And I might even go live a couple times if I can, if I have the bandwidth. And I will be doing some shows to release while I'm gone. So the channel's not going to be dark while I'm out of town. My secret machine, there's a good question. Which mic would you recommend for the GH5? Okay, good question too. I have used, and it's all over there. I've been using the Shure VP83 for a couple of years now. Very, very fond of it, very much like it. Has one thing about it that is annoying that is on basically every mic that I just kind of went, well, it's just the way it is. The power switch. You have to turn the power switch on and off, and if you turn it on and then leave it on all day and all night because you forget to turn it off, then you can wake up to a dead battery. That kind of sucks. Other than that, it's a great mic. RØDE has reached out to me, and there is some product coming from them. This will be one of the things that if it gets here in time, I will be doing a little first look at before I leave. Their new VideoMic Pro Plus. It's bigger. It is a little bit bigger. That I'm not super thrilled about, but it has two features on it that have me very, very excited. And this is, without having done a review on it yet, this is the mic that I would say this is probably, if you have to have a mic today, go buy this one. And then I will be doing a review as quickly as I can. It has two features that I love. First of all, it records a safety channel. When you're recording with a boom mic, obviously I know that's not a mic, but when you're recording the boom mic, you're recording a mono signal that gets written equally to left and right channels on your camera. The RØDE VideoMic Pro Plus will record on your left side at full volume and your right side at a lower volume. I think it's a -6 dB track. So you have a safety track on there. So that means in post, you just go mono both of those, disable the safety track, and now you've got the same thing as if you had recorded the whole thing normally. But if you get some peak in your audio, somebody shouts, whatever, something happens, you have a secondary track that you can go to pull something that's 6 dB quieter. I think that is one of the greatest features ever, and I'm super excited to play with that. The second feature on it that's very, very exciting, and I have no idea how this works, is you don't have to turn it on or off. Even though it has a battery in it, somehow it knows, I don't know if it knows when the camera is on or when it starts recording. Again, I haven't gotten it yet, but the point is you do not have to turn the microphone on and off. So I'm really excited about this. I think it's going to be here this week. It's supposed to be here before my trip to India because that's the mic that I'm going to take. So yeah, RØDE VideoMic Pro Plus. We'll link to that down below, even though I haven't gotten it yet, just in case you decide to buy one. Please use that link. Let's see, so just a RØDE mic spec that's nifty. It is nifty. It is super nifty. Astro Digital product stuff, is that to do with all the B&H plastic bags? So he's talking about when I was in New York last week, I tweeted a picture of, damn you, B&H. Every time I go there, I walk out with bags full of stuff. Yes, actually. One of them is the flashes, the Godox flashes that I already mentioned. I will talk about those a bit more. And then something else, just a little tiny accessory that I picked up for myself that I really like. So I'll be sharing that with you too. It's nice when accessories aren't crazy expensive ones, right? Sarah says it detects when it's inserted into the camera. Contacts are not in the air anymore that way. Sarah, so you're saying that if it's plugged in, it's on? That doesn't, because then if I leave it plugged in and just set the camera down overnight, then the battery would still be on. Is that right? If that's the case, then that's not as impressive as I thought it was going to be. Well, this is why we're going to get one in studio and find out, because that's the feature that I'm super excited to have. He's saying yes, but well, I think he just shot down that super exciting idea. Who unplugs that? I mean, if I'm going to unplug it, I may as well just turn it off. I'd rather turn it off. Okay, well, we shall see. We will get it in here soon. Still, the safety track is very exciting. But that's a bummer if that's the way that works. Okay, let's get out of here, shall we? I have a disaster to clean up, as you can undoubtedly see here. Yeah, let's move on with the week. So we'll see you tomorrow for a live training show about Filmic Pro, moving on to the next step of Filmic Pro, and then on Friday for a show to talk about where to go. This guy here, the port keys 5-inch monitor. Very, very nice. All right, guys, take care. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.